Hello guys, I'm Kiri, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about a 1994 McLaren Peugeot MP 49. This was a little bit strange combination, but actually was a fact. In 1994, McLaren make a deal with Peugeot for supplying engines. And probably, if we look back on the time, they make a mistake. Big mistake because this year, 1994, for the first time since 1981, McLaren didn't win any race. So from 1981 till 1993, McLaren Formula 1 team was winning races every year. And not only that, from the mid-80s, McLaren was the total dominant in Formula 1 and winning many constructors and drivers championships, especially with the Honda engines. But this time, the boss of the McLaren Formula 1 in 1993 made the mistake to make a deal with the French car manufacturer Peugeot. Peugeot didn't have any experience with Formula 1, so it was something completely new adventure for them. Well, they had experience in 24 hours of Le Mans with the winning model Peugeot 905, but this is different class car, more for endurance. Also, they had great sports director Jean Todt, who helped to develop the racing engine. But from what I know actually is Ron Dennis didn't have many options and time because something happened in 1993. Benetton and Williams were very strong and McLaren to fight with them was very hard. So was some tension between McLaren and Honda. But Honda just left Formula 1 because of the world recession in 1992. McLaren, they had the new chassis ready but with no engine. Now the task for Ron Dennis was very hard, to find the right engine for a very short time, but when you do the things very quick, always is wrong. He was believing that the Peugeot engine is very good and reliable because of the, how we said early, the 2 times Le Mans winner Peugeot 905, and the rivalry between Peugeot and Renault on that time always is good for the final result. So what's happened on the end? The chassis MP49 was great car, was very similar to the 1993 model MP48, which was fantastic car, but the engine was the problem. Many retirements because of the engine failures. Then Peugeot updated the engine from 700 horsepower to 760 horsepower, but again not that good enough to finish a race. On the end of the season, 1994 was a completely disaster for McLaren. Just 2 second places, one in Monaco with Martin Brundle and one in Belgium with the other driver Mika Häkkinen, and couple of third places, but for McLaren this was a disappointment. As well, they haven't done any pole position or fastest lap. In 1994, McLaren, like any other team, was entering with 2 cars. So here in this case number 7 and number 8. The car here in front of us is number 8 and it was driven by the Englishman Martin Brundle. The car was in exhibition at the National Motor Museum Beaulieu and is owned by McLaren. The main sponsor was still Marlboro, the cigarette giant, and other sponsor Goodyear, Shell, Hugo Boss, Camozzi, etc. etc. It was one of the last McLaren Formula 1 car in this very famous and specific design with white and red, very distinctive design, unforgettable for many people. We're gonna say again, the chassis was very good, not much different than the 1993 predecessor MP48, which was very successful car. Even this chassis MP49 was improved and better than 48. So this chassis was made entirely from carbon fiber, was very light, 515 kilograms, but also don't forget for the season 1994 the new rules were with no ABS or traction control or power brakes or active suspension. The suspension front and rear was with double wishbones. The wheelbase of this chassis MP49 is 2 meter 845 millimeters. mid-engine car behind the driver, V10 Peugeot, 3.5 liter, 3499cc, naturally aspirated, of course, 4 valves per cylinder, longitudinally mounted and producing early versions 700 horsepower, on the end of the season 760 horsepower, over 16,500 RPM. So in Formula 1 regulations on that time the rules were 3.5 liter naturally aspirated only engines. You can see the tires are slicks, so no any channels, they are Goodyear 13 inches front and rear. Because of the very unsuccessful 1994 season, Ron Dennis on the end of the year make a new contract for engine supplying, this time Mercedes. And this deal was for a very long time. This Peugeot Formula 1 experience with McLaren was only for 1 year. And then the French driver, very famous 3 times champion Alain Prost, he found his Formula 1 team and he was using the Peugeot engines between 1997 and 2000, but again without any success. Before to make the deal with Peugeot, Ron Dennis was testing Lamborghini V12 engines mounted in McLaren MP 4.8 car, but probably he wasn't very happy from the V12 Lamborghini engine and he went for the Peugeot engine. We don't know if he was choosing the Lamborghini, how the car eventually would finish the season, but this is in the past and we just can guess. These era engines, V10 or V12, 3.5 liter natural aspirated, revving over 15,000 RPM, are the most noisy and the people just love it. The main designer of the car, the McLaren MP49, was Neil Oakley and was just updated version, how we said earlier, of the previous year model MP48. The other interesting fact is the test driver on that time was the Frenchman Philippe Alliot. But before McLaren to make the deal with Peugeot, the French company was trying to convince Ron Dennis that Philippe Alliot need to be the second driver in the car instead of the Englishman Martin Brundle. But Ron Dennis just refused and he put him as a test driver. And today, some people saying that actually the connection McLaren and Peugeot wasn't that bad. Okay, no win, but 2 second places, one of which very important in Monaco, and 6 third places, so on the end 8 podiums in total for 1 season. They managed to finish the year for the Constructors' Championship in 1994 in 4th place, which is not that bad, but for Ron Dennis and McLaren was very bad. Well, to be the best Formula 1 team for many years, to be a dominant and then to finish without winning race, without even fastest lap or pole position, and in 4th place, this is different. Anyway, the car is history and we need to respect the history. This is chassis number 4, which was built for Martin Brundle. It still remains with the original tires, Goodyear, how you can see, which is very cool, but also all the car is original. And this thanks to Martin Brundle, who was very sensible and responsible driver. This is just fantastic example of 1990s Formula 1 car, and it deserves all the attention. It's not a winning Grand Prix car, but it's a great example. So how you can see here on the side with this very great Marlboro livery, white and red, and the Goodyear tires, of course 13 inches on the front and rear, and the Peugeot sign, very big actually sign Peugeot on the side. So you can see the car is with Peugeot engine, Shell sponsors, Hugo Boss of course, Camozzi on the rear, massive big spoiler, how you can see everything is made from carbon fiber. And the car is just incredible. MP48 was incredible in 1993. This car should be winning car as well in 1994, but we're gonna say again, because of the Peugeot engine, they didn't have any experience in Formula 1, and that's why Ron Dennis probably make mistake to make deal with them. He believed that, I'm gonna say again, because they won 2 times Le Mans with Peugeot 905. So he said probably this engine is very reliable, but on the end wasn't. For Formula 1, it's completely different car, completely different settings than Le Mans. So the engine was very, very fragile. You can see here the rear suspension of the car and the tire Goodyear, of course, the carbon fiber bottom of the car, the wheels, the brakes. The car remains, this chassis number 4 remains original and was built especially for the Englishman Martin Brundle. The rear spoiler, again, number 8 on the bottom. Martin Brundle was racing with number 8, Mika Hakkinen with number 7. Massive spoiler, and you can see here the backside of the car. Everything is made from carbon fiber. You can see the parts of the differential and the suspension. Again, is absolutely great car. The rear light, of course, on that time, if I remember well, when the weather is not good, this rear light, when it's raining, for example, needs to flash a red color. So the car is just fantastic. Martin Brundle, he was a great driver actually, but because of this car probably he never won race. If it was better this McLaren, I'm sure he would won some race. So McLaren Peugeot, this is great example, absolutely fantastic. How you can see here, Martin Brundle, Great Britain, Hugo Boss sponsors, and inside the interior you can see on that time 1994 the cars were very basic. Even today they are very basic, but on that time even more. So the steering wheel is not that modern like the today's cars with many buttons, but it's great car. 1994 Formula 1 McLaren MP 49 with Peugeot engine. The front part of the car with the big Peugeot emblem on the front, very proud this McLaren with the Peugeot emblem, Shell sponsor, number 8 Goodyear, of course, liveries, massive spoiler on the front as well. So it's just amazing. So guys, I hope you liked the video about this very strange combination between McLaren and Peugeot with this 1994 McLaren Peugeot MP49 car. Wasn't that successful car, but it's a great example. So guys, I hope you liked the video and see you next time. Bye.